All right, so today we're diving into the source, and
Good boy.
yeah, the title's a little bit much. How to get a younger woman's attention. Truth revealed: younger women prefer older men.
Hmm.
But don't worry, we're not actually going to be, giving advice on how to do that.
Yeah.
We're using this as a jumping off point
Okay.
to look at some stuff that could apply to any relationship.
Right.
So like attraction and connection and building rapport.
Yeah, it's almost like we're using this kind of cheesy dating advice as a way to look deeper into like just basic human psychology.
Exactly. Yeah. So get ready for like a masterclass
Oh, wow.
on how to build confidence and rapport
Love it.
with anyone you're trying to connect with.
Okay.
So the source really pushes confidence as like the foundation of attraction.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's interesting because when you see someone who's confident,
Yeah.
it kind of sends a message
Right.
that they've got their act together.
Like subconsciously.
Yeah. And it implies all this stuff like competence and self-assurance, maybe even a little mystery.
Oh.
And that's interesting to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And they actually give you some like practical tips
Oh, really?
on how to project confidence.
Okay.
Like, remember when you totally bombed that presentation at work?
Oh, God, don't remind me. I thought I was going to get fired.
But you didn't. And one of the things they talk about is staying composed under pressure, which you did.
I guess so.
Like masterfully. And they talk about things like holding eye contact,
Yeah.
standing tall, speaking with a steady tone.
Sure.
Do you think that stuff really matters?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Like your body language, it
Yes.
says so much. If you're fidgeting or avoiding eye contact or like mumbling, it just screams insecure. Your body's totally betraying you.
So it's like fake it till you make it.
Not quite.
Okay.
It's more like tapping into like this inner strength. And remember, confidence isn't arrogance.
Right.
It's not about being like, braggy or anything. It's about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
And even if you don't feel it at first, if you just, try to project it through your body language,
Okay.
it can actually change how you feel inside.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like a feedback loop.
Exactly.
Now, another thing the source talks about is emotional intelligence,
Okay.
which I think is so important
Yeah.
for any like healthy relationship. And they describe it as being able to like understand your own emotions,
Yeah.
manage them, and also be aware of other people's emotions.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's not just about being nice or sensitive,
Okay.
It's about like navigating that whole complex world of emotions with like, skill, with awareness. Like think about a time you had a disagreement with someone.
Oh, I have plenty of those.
Right. Well, the source emphasizes how important it is to regulate your emotions in those moments. So instead of like, getting defensive
Yeah.
or shutting down,
Right.
you can try to stay calm
Okay.
and really listen to what the other person is saying and then express your own feelings in a clear way.
So it's like having a healthy dialogue even when things get heated.
Exactly.
But how do you actually do that?
Well, first you got to understand yourself.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what triggers
What
you.
sets you off?
Yeah. And how you react when you're stressed.
Okay.
Once you figure out your own patterns,
Yeah.
you can come up with ways to like manage those emotions.
So it's like you're reading your own user manual.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
Active listening is so important when someone's trying to tell you something important.
Yeah.
Really focus on what they're saying, like not just the words,
Oh.
but their body language too.
Mm-hmm.
Ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you understand
Okay.
and validate their feelings.
Okay.
And that shows you're present,
Right.
you're engaged.
And that ties into empathy.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Being able to put yourself in their shoes,
Yeah.
that's huge empathy. It's the foundation for strong connections.
Wow.
It lets you see the world through someone else's eyes
Mm-hmm.
and respond with compassion.
So we've got confidence, emotional intelligence as like key ingredients
It's a good recipe.
in this attraction formula.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, they talk about building rapport,
Okay.
and they think humor is a really powerful tool.
Humor.
Yeah. They say that laughing together can like bridge the gap
Okay.
and really create connection.
It reminds me of when we went to that awful stand-up comedy show.
Oh, God, please.
It was so bad, but we were laughing hysterically.
I know, because it was so bad.
It was like the absurdity of the whole thing.
Exactly.
But it brought us closer.
It did.
So you think they're onto something with this humor thing?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Laughter is like social glue.
Okay.
It makes you feel good, it reduces stress.
Right.
And, it shows the other person that you're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Like you can relax together.
Exactly.
And they even suggest using humor to respond to a partner's little quirks.
Oh, that's good.
Like their funny stories, instead of getting annoyed when they tell that same embarrassing story for the 100th time. You laugh along with them.
Yeah.
You add your own little embellishments.
Right.
It shows that you appreciate their sense of humor.
And that you don't take things too seriously.
Don't be a stick in the mud.
Lighten up.
Yeah, have some fun.
Exactly.
Now, besides humor, they also talk about finding common interests.
Oh, yeah.
You say it's like glue.
Well, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It gives you stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Things to bond over.
And a dude together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You make memories, you get your inside jokes.
Right. And I think it's a good point about actively engaging with your partner's passions. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't know anything about them.
Yeah. Even if it's not your thing at first.
Yeah.
It shows that you're curious, you're open-minded.
That you're willing to try new things.
Yes, exactly.
Like if your partner is obsessed with bird watching, you don't have to become an expert.
Right.
But maybe you could suggest going on a bird watching walk together.
Exactly.
It's about showing interest, making an effort.
And that effort, it builds trust.
Okay.
It builds intimacy.
So we've got confidence, emotional intelligence, humor, shared interests.
That's a lot.
Are we missing anything?
Well, they also talk about leadership.
Leadership.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little, bossy?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
They're not talking about being controlling
Okay.
or like domineering.
Right.
It's more about taking initiative
Oh, okay.
and like guiding interactions, with confidence,
Okay.
with purpose.
Yeah.
So, for example, when you're planning a date,
Yeah.
instead of being like, what do you want to do?
Right.
Someone with leadership would be like,
Yeah.
I know this great jazz club downtown. I think you'd love it. Let's go.
Oh, okay. So being decisive,
Yeah.
taking the lead,
Mhm.
but in a considerate way.
Exactly. It shows you're capable.
You've put thought into it.
Yeah. But they also say that good leadership needs flexibility.
Oh, what if the jazz club is closed?
Exactly. Or if your date hates jazz music,
Right.
you gotta adapt.
Have a plan B.
Right. Make sure everyone's having a good time.
So it's about handling those unexpected situations.
Exactly.
Gracefully.
With resourcefulness.
Okay, so leadership is that balance between taking charge
Yeah.
and being adaptable.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about something a little more,
Superficial.
superficial.
Yeah.
They talk about physical presentation.
It's interesting because they don't frame it as like trying to look younger
Yeah.
or hotter.
Right.
It's more about like presenting your best self
Okay.
as a form of self-respect,
Oh.
like taking care of
So
yourself.
you were talking about dressing well, grooming,
Yeah,
maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
exactly.
Right.
It's not about fitting into some like standard of beauty.
Yeah.
It's about feeling good in your own skin.
Feeling confident.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the source actually mentions the link between physical health
Yeah.
and mental well-being.
I think there's something to that.
Oh, absolutely. It's all connected.
Yeah.
When you take care of yourself physically, you just have more confidence,
Right.
more energy. You feel better overall.
It's like that saying.
When you look good, you feel good.
Yeah, and that can be really attractive.
It can.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here,
Yeah, we have.
but there's more.
No, there's more.
So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive
Can't wait.
into this interesting source.
All right. So one thing that I thought was really interesting in the source was
Yeah.
all the stuff about storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about using it as a way to connect with people,
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too.
like on a deeper level.
At first I was like, storytelling?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
Right.
But they make some good points.
They
like
do.
sharing personal anecdotes, but not in a braggy way.
Right. It's not about listing all your accomplishments or
Yeah.
trying to like impress anyone.
Hmm.
It's more about like revealing who you are
Right.
through your stories, what you value, what makes you tick.
Why do you think that works from like a psychological perspective?
That's a good question.
Like, why is storytelling so effective?
Well, I think stories
Yeah.
kind of sneak past our defenses.
Okay.
Like when someone tells you a story,
Yeah.
you're not just getting information.
Right.
You're feeling it.
Experiencing it with them.
Yeah. You're using your emotions, your imagination, your empathy.
It's like stepping into their shoes for a minute.
Exactly. And they talk about being vulnerable,
Okay.
being authentic when you're telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
Like the best stories are the ones that show our humanity. You know, our flaws, our wins, our fears.
So it's not about trying to be perfect.
No, not at all.
Right.
In fact, trying to be perfect can make people feel like you're not relatable.
Oh,
You know,
lied.
those imperfections.
Little quirks.
Yeah, make us endearing.
Makes you wonder about those social media profiles where everything's perfect.
I know, right?
Are they doing more harm than good?
It's something to think about.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be focusing on showing our true selves.
The messy parts, too.
Exactly, warts and all.
Now, speaking of getting real, they also talk about physical touch.
Yeah, the power of touch.
It's a big one.
It can be so powerful.
It's for building intimacy.
Yeah, but it's also tricky.
Definitely got to be careful.
Right.
Got to respect boundaries.
A big time.
They say to start small.
Yeah, like with those light touches.
The platonic stuff.
And then if the connection grows, you can get more meaningful.
But if it feels right.
Exactly. You got to read the other person's signals.
Yeah, you can't force anything.
No way. And of course, consent is key.
Of course.
Any touch has to be welcome.
Yeah.
It's about respect and trust.
And knowing your boundaries.
Absolutely.
Another thing that stood out to me was all the stuff about cultural awareness.
Oh, yeah. That's huge, especially these days.
Right, like different cultures communicate differently.
And different generations, too.
Yeah, right. Like what's considered flirty.
Yeah.
In one culture could be totally inappropriate in another.
Exactly.
Even offensive.
And even within the same culture, different generations have different ideas about dating.
Totally. You got to be aware of those differences.
And approach each other with respect.
Yeah, and understand.
I talk about showing interest in what your partner values. Even if it's not your thing.
Yeah.
It's about being open-minded, you know?
Adaptable.
Yeah, willing to learn.
And recognizing that there's no one right way to do relationships.
That's so true.
What works for one couple might not work for another.
It's about finding what feels authentic for both people.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this source, there's one more big takeaway.
What's that?
Patience.
Ah, yes, patience.
It's a tough one.
It is.
But they say it's crucial for a relationship.
Oh, it is.
Like meaningful connections take time.
They do.
You got to build trust.
Communicate.
Let things happen naturally.
It's about enjoying the process, you know?
Not rushing things.
Exactly. And it also shows that you're secure.
You're not near.
You're comfortable with yourself.
Quality over quantity.
I like that.
Right.
So we've covered a lot.
I have confidence, emotional intelligence,
humor, shared interest,
leadership storytelling,
touch, cultural awareness,
patience.
Wow. That's a lot to digest.
It is, but it's all good stuff.
It is.
And I think the most important thing is that these principles, they apply to all sorts of relationships.
Yes, true.
Not just romantic ones.
You can use this stuff with your friends.
Yeah.
Your family.
At work.
Anywhere you're trying to connect with people.
Right. Like building rapport with a client.
Exactly.
Or strengthening your relationship with your family.
It's all about connecting.
Yeah.
These principles can help you build deeper, more fulfilling connections.
Now, one thing that they touch on but don't really go into is the idea of compatibility.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, even if you have all this other stuff.
The confidence, the emotional intelligence.
If you're not compatible.
It's not going to work.
Right. So what does compatibility actually mean?
Well, it's more than just liking the same things.
Okay.
Or being attracted to each other.
Right.
It's about having similar values.
Okay.
Life goals. The way you communicate.
The way you handle conflict.
Exactly.
So even if you get along great.
Yeah.
If your values are totally different.
It's going to be a problem.
It'll create challenges.
Yeah. And recognizing that early on can save you a lot of heartache down the line.
That's good advice.
So it's not just about using these techniques. It's also about choosing the right people to use them with.
Being intentional, knowing what you want.
And being honest with yourself.
Yeah, like, is this person really a good fit for me?
Exactly.
And recognizing that not every relationship is forever.
That's okay.
It's about making choices
that
align with your goals.
And your values.
Now, another interesting point they bring up is authenticity.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about being genuine in your storytelling.
Right, not pretending to be someone you're not.
But I think authenticity goes beyond just storytelling.
Oh, for sure.
It's like in every interaction, every gesture, every word.
It's about being true to yourself.
Yeah.
Inside and out.
So if you're trying to attract someone, don't try to be someone you're not.
Right, just be yourself.
Let your true self shine through.
Exactly. because people can spot a fake.
Oh, yeah.
They're drawn to authenticity.
It's so refreshing.
Yeah.
Magnetic.
And it builds trust.
Real genuine connection.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Something deep.
More than just surface level.
Something that touches your heart.
And your soul.
And that's what we all want, right?
I think so.
Real connection.
Whether it's romantic or platonic or even professional.
It's the foundation of any meaningful relationship.
It is.
So we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
We have.
What's your final thought?
Well, if we zoom out and look at the big picture,
Yeah.
I don't think this deep dive was about, like, tricks.
To get someone's attention.
Yeah, or manipulating people.
Mm-hmm.
It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
Right.
Cultivating those qualities that make you attractive.
From the inside out.
Exactly.
So confidence, emotional intelligence, empathy, all that stuff.
Yes, and not just for dating,
Right.
but for every area of your life.
It's about communication.
The relationship.
A fulfilling life.
Exactly.
It's like that saying, the best way to find love is to be the kind of person you'd want to fall in love with.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and it applies to so much more than just romantic love.
Right. It's about becoming the kind of person that people are drawn to.
Yeah.
Whether it's for friendship or collaboration or just a sense of connection.
So as you go forward from this deep dive,
Yeah.
we challenge you to think about these principles.
How can you be more confident?
How can you cultivate emotional intelligence?
Use humor and shared interest to connect with people.
And most importantly,
Yeah.
how can you be your true self?
Let your authenticity shine.
Because at the end of the day, that's what makes you attractive.
And memorable.
You want to be the kind of person who lights up a room,
Yeah.
makes people feel seen,
Heard.
who brings joy and authenticity to every interaction.
Who knows? You might even attract the right people into your life.
A romantic partner, a lifelong friend.
A kindred spirit.
That's it for our deep dive today.
That was a good one.
We hope you learned something.
And that you're inspired to put these ideas into practice.
Happy connecting, everyone.
Yeah, so if we kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you know,
Okay.
I don't think this deep dive was about, like, learning tricks or anything.
Yeah.
It's not about manipulating people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more about becoming the best version of yourself,
Okay.
you know? Like, working on those qualities that make you attractive.
From the inside out. So like confidence, emotional intelligence, empathy,
All that good stuff.
and not just for like trying to get a date.
Right, it's for every part of your life.
It's about communication.
Yeah, healthy relationships.
Living a good life.
Exactly.
It's like that saying, the best way to find love is to be the kind of person you'd want to fall in love with.
Oh, it's a good one.
And it's not just about romantic love.
No, it's about being the kind of person that people are drawn to.
Yeah.
Like for friendship.
Or at work.
Yeah, for collaboration.
Just connection in general.
Exact.
So as you go forward from this deep dive, we challenge you to think about how you can use these principles.
How can you be more confident? How can you work on your emotional intelligence?
Yeah, use humor and shared interests to connect with people.
And maybe the most important thing,
Yeah.
how can you be your true authentic self?
Yeah, let your true colors shine.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's what really makes you attractive.
And memorable.
Yeah, you want to be the kind of person that lights up a room.
Makes people feel seen.
Hey, boss.
Someone who brings joy to every interaction.
And you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe while you're working on being that person, you'll attract the right people into your life.
A partner, a friend.
A kindred spirit.
That's it for our deep dive today.
I hope you enjoyed it
We hope you learned something.
and that you're inspired to try out some of these ideas.
Happy connecting, everyone.